What's up, all you wonderful viewers, and welcome back to some more Factorio. We on episode number 11, which is like a record for me, so that's pretty impressive in itself. But anyway, I came in between episodes and we did a couple things. One, we ran some ammo belts here. It's not completely finished, but our ammo belt along the outside, and I stopped right around here. So we still got maybe like a third or whatever of the wall that we haven't completely covered, and the biters are starting to get a little bit stronger. There's a camp right here. This wall got hit a lot. In fact, they started doing damage to my guns, so you can see I beefed up the defense over here quite heavily. We still got a ways to go as far as the ammo production, which means we're going to be burning through a lot of steel because I am producing tier 2 ammo here. And actually, copper is our bottleneck here, not steel, which is a little strange to me, because copper was never my bottleneck ever before. In fact, I had trouble using enough copper, but as you can see, our copper line is just struggling here. So I did also design the silicone wafer system, which is not really too different from the current smelt setup that I'm using. I don't know if I mentioned this last episode, but I was running out of siliconing. It's like I was using all my silicone to make iron, and I've since stopped that. Let me see. I've since changed the recipe from using silicone and iron to make iron plates to just iron. So all I'm doing is using my iron ingots now, and my silicone is being directed towards the silicon wafers. But yeah, so we've got our nitrogen coming in here. I'm pretty sure I set that up last episode. And then our silicon ingots getting smelted down into monosilicon seed. So it uses the nitrogen and the monosilicon to make these seeds. So yeah, one casting machine producing seeds is enough to feed, I think, 4 casting machines making the monosilicon. And we create a lot of monosilicon here, and these can use 1 per second. So we're producing a little more than we can actually use on these assembly machines, but it's okay. Redundancy is fine. And then yeah, so we're just shipping the silicon wafers onto the same line as the solder, like I was saying, and then we come up here and we use a splitter to filter the silicon wafers off, because I'm going to be producing the red circuits. Let's see, these things, the transistors and the red circuits right here, which is just the next tier of electronics, right? I need that to make tier 3 stuff. So if I come to tier 3 assemblers, for example, it needs the electronic circuit boards. So I have to start making these if I want to upgrade further. So I'm going to set up a system just like this for the BE boards, but it's going to be the red circuit boards up here. And then we're just going to put that on the bus as well. I set up one of these box loaders on each one of these lines, and you can see it here. So that way we have a little buffer, and these chests aren't fully open. I did lock off a lot of it, so we're not storing up like a full chest of plates. It's just a little buffer, so if I go through bursts, we have that on-demand stuff. We don't have to smelt more plates immediately, you know what I mean? So I do have to remove the ammo belt from the to-do list because I'm pretty much done with that. Plastic bars I have not set up yet. Silicon wafers are done. Ferric solution not done. Upgrade ore processing to tier 2. I know it. So yeah, I want to come in and upgrade all these flotation cells, sorters, and crushers to all tier 2. One other thing I wanted to touch about this line, how I was setting up these stone blocks, actually. So I was saying you could split the wood and stone line directly into the furnaces, and you can do that. The problem is, if you ever run out of stone on the line, it will actually start burning the wood into coal, and we don't want that. As you can see here, these are marked as coal. They're currently not making coal, but they were at one point, so it's kind of buggy right now. It shows that they're making coal, but they're not. So yeah, I switched it around, so we're dumping coal as fuel for the furnaces instead of wood. I think what I'm going to do for this episode is work on setting up the circuit boards. So I've already got the the silicon wafers, which I need for the transistors here. So we need plastic. How do I get plastic? Cellulose acetate. Well, let's look at, I think there's a couple recipes for plastic. Okay, so we've got one here which uses cellulose acetate and acetone gas. This was the other one that we use propene gas for. Okay, so I have 2 recipes for propene. This one uses naphtha, which I believe is from natural gas processing, so that's a no-go. This one uses methanol, which I'm pretty sure I can use I can make methanol and steam. In fact, I have a blueprint for methanol right here. So we just need a hydro plant, electrolyzer, and a couple chemical plants. We also need ore for this. I think this is why I needed the silver ore. Okay. Let me figure out what I'm gonna do first, and then I'll come back and kind of explain my idea.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
We've got the propane system, which basically is just the methanol blueprint, just modified with some extra stuff. So I do need both coal and silver and aluminum on this system. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is slap it around here somewhere. That way we can fork off the silver aluminum lines. Well, yeah, we can pull off the silver and aluminum lines. And then I'm going to line it up with the coal. So the belts in this system, you can see them right there. The one on the far right is, well, I don't know why I said far. The one on the right is for coal, and the one on the left is for silver and aluminum. But anyway, let's line it up with the coal. Well, we can actually do something like this. Okay. And then we'll leave ourselves a little bit of room in between. Everything in this blueprint is a tier 2 aside from the boiler. Boiler is just a tier 1, which I also don't have connected. Okay, we've got coal over there now. Or we should in a second. There we go. So that needs coal. Yeah, so this is going to give us propane and residual gas. I'm not sure what I do with residual gas right now. So guess what we're going to do? Yep, flare stack it. You guessed correctly. You're a genius. I knew you could do it. We're also going to have to make some of these catalyst carriers. I'll just make like 5 of them. That should be plenty. So the assembly machine takes silver and aluminum to make these green metal catalysts. It also takes metal catalyst carriers. And then the system to make propane takes the metal catalyst carrier, empties out presumably the ore, which is in the middle. And then, so it's just an empty catalyst carrier again. And then we take that catalyst carrier, put it back into the assembly machine. So it just recycles the carriers and uses ore to do so. Speaking of ore, let's see, I need filter. This one's going to be aluminum. So you've got everything you need aside from purified water. And this thing, I think, is just going to need a ground bore for water. So in theory, we should have propane, which we do. Now, plastic. Where's my plastic? All right, we just need propane for this, and we can do it in a liquefier or a chemical plant. Let's see, how fast can this generate? So we can generate 40 propane per second. This can use 20 propane per second. So we could run multiple of these chemical plants, or I could just upgrade to a chem plant 2. So let's go ahead. Okay, so here's a chem plant 2. So if I just pop that right there, how much can you make? I don't know. It's still 2-second crafting time, but the thing with the upgraded stuff is they get faster, but it doesn't exactly reflect that in the recipe. Like, it still says it takes 2 seconds, but it does not take 2 seconds. As you saw it happen, like that was not 2 seconds. It's fine. We'll just use one chem plant 2 for now, and I don't think we'll have any issues with that. All right, so we're generating liquid plastic. One other thing I want to touch on real quick is the other recipe for liquid plastic, which uses bioprocessing to do so. So we need cellulose acetate, which we get right here using cellulose fiber, acetic acid, acetic anhydride, I'm not even gonna try, and sulfuric acid. So you can use bioprocessing to get to liquid plastic as well. I'm just not sure how to do that exactly, so I'm not going to take that route. Although it's probably better because I won't be using aluminum and silver ore to make it, right? So I think what I'm going to do is actually run a liquid plastic pipe, probably right here somewhere, and we'll just run it all the way up to around over here, because this is where we're going to be setting up our red circuits. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some of these bronze pipe to grounds because they can actually extend further. If you see the max length at the bottom, it says 15. The max length for the stone, iron, and copper is 11. Now I'm actually going to come over here and set up some automation for the bronze pipes. Drop in there. Drop in there. Okay, and we'll just do one stack. Alright, there we go. So now we're making bronze pipes and bronze underground pipes. Although, yeah, I don't really need the bronze pipes themselves, but I'm not like I said, I'm not making the copper anymore because I destroyed my old system. We don't have enough bronze pipes to actually do anything yet. Well, we don't have enough to run it all the way up, so I'm gonna come over here and set up the ferric chloride solution. So for ferric chloride, I need hydrogen chloride gas and iron ore. What do I need for hydrogen chloride gas? Just chlorine and hydrogen in a chemical plant. So take my chem plant here, and we've already got hydrogen and chlorine right here. So I have an idea. I think I'm just gonna plop it right here. So we'll move the flare stacks back one like this. Where's our overflows? And that will open up a pipe for us to connect off of. All right, hydrogen chloride gas done right there. We do have a small inline on both the hydrogen and the chlorine, so I think that's fine. Another thing I'm going to do is stick another small inline over here on the hydrogen chloride gas. Okay, so hydrogen chloride gas will be running that up in this way. If I just hold left click, it'll place them the max distance apart. Okay, hydrogen chloride gas up there. Those for these, oh, ferric chloride solution, which we need another chemical plant for. Just stick this right here. Ferric chloride solution, and we need iron ore. And what I'm gonna do is actually take the iron ore off of one of our slurry processing things. So we're creating both iron and copper here, right? But if I just take that belt and run it this way somewhere, then we can run the iron ore upwards. The question is, where am I gonna run it? Okay, so we've got just one inserter here for one crystallizer depositing iron ore for our ferric chloride solution. And if that's not enough, then I'll add another one on. There we go. All right, so we've got ferric chloride solution. Oh, let's go grab the bronze underground pipes, and we'll run our underground for the liquid plastic here. Okay, so we've got liquid plastic up here. We've got ferric chloride solution up here. And, all right, we have everything we need for the electronic circuits. So it's time to design that system, I think. All right, so just like the BE boards, I'm gonna plan on making 3 assembly machines on the output of these. And if it's wrong, then I'll have to expand it. But right now I just wanna figure out what I need. So for each one of these, we're gonna need 4 transistors every 5 seconds. What does the recipe for transistors make? It makes 5 transistors, 3.5 seconds. We're making 10 transistors every 7 seconds. 2 assembly machines making transistors is probably enough to support 3 of these. We can stick them like this. There we go. That way each machine is feeding 2. Although maybe it would be better if I did 4. I'm just gonna make things even. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna plan for actually 4 assembly machines making circuit boards here. And then 2 assembly machines making transistors, and I think that'll probably be fine like that. What else do you need? You need basic electronic components and solder. We use 4 basic electronic components, nearly 1 per second. But that's not accurate because the assembly, this isn't the accurate time. 5-second crafting time is not the accurate time because the assembly machine 2 speeds things up. So you need plastic and silicon wafers. Silicon wafers we're already making, tin copper wire as well. How much do you need? You need 1 tin copper wire every 3.5 seconds. Shoot, that's like 1. Yeah, you can make 5. 1 assembly machine can make 5 tin copper wire every 0.5 seconds. So, oh, but you know what? We're gonna need more for the transistors. So it's gonna be something like that, right? And then these need plastic bars. So we can make 2 plastic bars per second. Oh yeah, 1 assembly machine making plastic is gonna be plenty. Yeah, I think over on the BE boards, I actually overdid it with the copper cables. I think this is way too many. I'm not sure I needed that many. I took the actual numbers as real. The crafting time is real, but it's not. We're making more than 4 per second in these assemblers, so. Right, and then that will empty onto this belt. So tin copper cable. And we're gonna need Another one coming this way. Because we have 3 components that we need from this. We can only fit 2 components on one belt, so we're going to need 2 belts for sure. And the silicon wafers are coming from this side. Actually, let me run that belt up to where... Oh, it's right here. So they're definitely going to be on this belt. So the silicon wafers and the plastic will be on the same belt, probably. And another thing, I also need... I need solder on the silicone. Actually, I don't. I do need solder up here, though. Okay, now we've got solder on the same belt as the silicon wafers. But we are going to have to take that solder off. We'll use the splitter, the filter on the splitter, to filter the solder out and up to the final thing up here. But I'm actually going to move all this down. I just want plenty of room to work with. So let me figure out the design first. 5, 10. You know what? Two things creating basic electronic components is probably going to be plenty. What if I did basic electronic components up here? Okay, that way we're feeding these things directly. Tin copper wire on this side. Split it up like this. So this line could be tin copper wire and carbon. So we could just run a carbon line like this, right? Already got it, so let's just do this. So that's going to be carbon directly into that as well. So tin copper wire and carbon on this line, and then plastic and silicon wafers on the other. Okay, so this line is going to be solder. So we've got solder, we've got the basic electronic components up here, which need tin copper wire and carbon. That's going to be on the same line. Tin copper wire deposits onto that line. Wait, I'm forgetting something. Yeah, I'm forgetting the circuit boards. Herpy derp. Hold on. I forgot the phenolic boards. I forgot the circuit boards. Yeah, these things need circuit boards. They need 4 components, so we need 2 belts. Oh no, Wait, the solder's only gonna have 1. Yeah, solder's gonna be the only thing on this line. And we have 2 belts. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, so I just need to put the circuit boards on the same belt as the solder. Where's that happening? So we first need to make phenolic boards. We can make 4 per second, although that's slightly off. And then we need how many? 4 of these making circuit boards. So we're gonna need how many phenolic boards? 1 phenolic board every 5 seconds for each one. And you can make me 4 every second. So 1 of these should be plenty. Phenolic boards into circuit boards, and the phenolic board needs resin, right? How much? Where's our resin recipe? Oh, we need a bioprocessor for resin. I forgot about that. Do I have any bioprocessors? We can make 1 resin every 3 seconds. That's really not a whole lot. So I need multiple bioprocessors? No way. So I'm gonna plan for 4 bioprocessors to make me 4 resin per second here. Oh wait, it takes 3 seconds to craft. So every 3 seconds I'm making 4. I'm not sure I'm producing enough wood for this, man. This is a lot. Okay, so for this line, we need wood. Okay, copper tin's going. We're making the red circuits. Okay, so we've got silicon wafers and plastic, which this both needs. The tin copper wire and carbon will be on this line. Okay, in theory, we should be making these basic circuit boards. Although I'm not sure 1 machine making tin copper wire is enough. It looks like it might be. All right, so we're making electronic circuit boards now. And they're on our main bus. Wow, that system is oogly. But it's working, so I can't really complain. Okay, yeah, so let's go over it real quick. Wood's coming in on this bottom belt here. It's feeding both the bioprocessors to make resin and the phenolic board assembly machines, because those need wood as well. Resin from these is being deposited directly into the phenolic boards. Phenolic board assembly machines are each feeding 2 of these assembly machines making circuit boards, which also need copper and tin. So we've got that belt right here, which these are grabbing off of. Ferric chloride solution is also going into them, as you can see. Those are depositing on this belt here. which comes through and mixes with the solder. So we now have circuit boards and solder on the same belt, which come up here for the electronic circuit boards, because that's 2 of the components they need. Transistors here are grabbing from the plastic bar and silicon wafer belt, which, well, doesn't really take a lot to make the silicon. We just need the plastic, we just need the liquid plastic there. I already explained the silicon. And then these are all the transistor assembly machines are also grabbing from the carbon and tin copper wire belt. It looks like one assembly machine making tin copper wire is going to be enough for both the transistors and the electronic components, which, yeah, I didn't mention that. It gets split up to these assembly machines, which need both the tin copper wire and the carbon, so that's why it's on the same belt. It's not as clean and pretty as I'd like it to be, but it's functioning for now, so we're probably going to leave it. I'll go ahead and blueprint this for you guys. All right, so there's our EC board blueprint, and oh man, I want to clean this up so bad. It's just bugging me. It's bugging me so much. Maybe I'll do that in between episodes. I don't know if I'm going to have time, but so there it is. We got it done. That is going to be the end of this episode, though. This thing took me a lot longer than I wanted it to. I got confused a couple times about how much things I actually needed, but we got through it. We pulled through. Still worried about my copper, but like I said, once this ammo line backs up, I don't think the copper is really going to be an issue at that point. So we're just going to be getting a trickle until then. It's not as if we're using these right now, so eventually this line's going to back up and we'll stop using copper on that for a while. I might let the game just kind of run for a little bit while I'm away. That way things can kind of catch up with itself. The ammo belt can fill up and whatnot, and then we're not hurting for copper plates anywhere. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.